What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to the Nerdwide podcast. As you can see, this is Tyler, the flaming hearth beside you on the left, if you're watching on the video, with my favorite co-host, Mr. Chris Rivers, with the logo behind him. How are you, Chris?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
Well, I would be doing a lot better if I could find out why my camera is not working. We've had technical issues tonight, which is all fine and dandy, but for some reason the camera will not work. And it
I'm
looks like I'm gonna have some fun
curious.
homework this week.
I'm curious to see what the thumbnail's going to look like on this one. Uh,
I just put a picture of a campfire or something up. We have had some crazy storms the past 72 hours here in Nashville, Tennessee. I hope everyone is doing well if you're in this area. I hope everyone got through unscathed, rather. Um, I don't know. I don't think that's what messed anything because we didn't lose any power, so I don't think that's what messed the camera up. I hope the camera's just not done. Just decided to wake up and say I don't want to work anymore, but we'll work from there. But guys, this is the Nerdwide Podcast, episode 52. Don't forget to subscribe to either our YouTube or podcasting services of your choice. If you enjoy the show, make sure you leave us a thumbs up on YouTube or give us a good rating for the podcasting apps. If you don't enjoy what you see or hear, make sure you leave us a comment and let us know how we can improve the show. If you want to do more, you can always go to patreon.com/nerdwine. Toss us a couple bucks that way. There's 3 different tiers there if you choose so to do it that way. Chris, how's your week been?
oh, it's been dandy.
Mm.
Um, yeah. No, we pulled another max overtime week at work.
Oh,
Um,
fun.
yeah, so we did till 3:30 in the morning 4 nights this week, and then Friday night we were supposed to work till 12:30. We got out at midnight, made it home about, I'd say, an hour and a half or so before the power went out,
Mm.
and the power didn't come back on until after noon
Of course.
on Saturday, which we're a lot more fortunate than other people. But
Right.
um,
So no good sleeping then, if you did sleep.
not a ton of good sleep and not a lot of time to do anything
Yeah.
because obviously to watch stuff that we have to watch, we need electricity.
Yeah. That's
So
isn't that crazy how that works?
yeah,
Let's see. We had I had the video game awards this past week. I stayed up late on. Of course, that Friday night I did not sleep at all, just because I'm not really paranoid when it comes to weather, but I try to pay attention to as much as I can, and I knew it was
yeah,
going to be a horrible one.
uh-huh,
And I think I got 45 minutes, if that, before the storm got close to close to Nashville,
right.
and then I went back to sleep when it all came and was done. And Stella maybe let us sleep maybe 2 more hours after that. So not a whole lot of sleep, but it's again we got more. We didn't have any. I think it hailed pretty good, and then it was a little bit windy because we were in our bathroom when it got here because the storm system that came through was the one that had tornadoes everywhere. So
Yeah,
apparently it kind of just jumped the city that I live in and kept moving. So don't know
which is
why, which is great, but
yeah. The earlier storm got, I don't know if you've seen the photos of Mayfield, Kentucky,
oh,
but
that's horrible.
it's not there anymore.
Mm-mm. It's weather is absolutely crazy, but let's
Mhm.
be a little bit of a distraction for everybody this week. Of
Yeah,
course,
yeah.
our TV. We don't have a whole terrible lot of news for everything except for the video game awards for our gaming section. But we do have a fun show to talk about. Chris, did you watch anything TV wise this week?
Nothing outside of, I got the fifth and sixth episodes of Hit Monkey watched and the fourth episode of Hawkeye.
I need to pick up Hit
So,
Monkey again. Other than the episodes we've watched together, I need to. I think I'm gonna do that this week. I want to pick up The Expanse this week, but I really am at this point that I need to finish the shows that I have started so I can watch more shows. Like Supergirl is not really keeping me attentive I guess is the word I'm looking for. Like
You're not super excited about Supergirl?
yeah, and like I'm over halfway through the season, so I mean you've got that different new villain now than what you had at the very beginning of the season. I'm
Hmm.
just not. I don't know. I just something about it's just not having me latched into it.
So I haven't been watching that, but I saw something on social media that said fans were upset. They wanted Kara and um, oh, what's Lex Luthor's sister?
Lena.
Lena. They wanted Kara and Lena to get together, and apparently that's not happening.
I mean, they're neither one of them are homosexual, so I don't know why.
I guess they've been teasing stuff from what
Oh,
people said.
I could see it, but like I mean, they're just best friends in this show. I mean, she's very much wanting to. I mean, Monel, that's his name, right? The one she was dating
Hmm.
in real life, or she still might be dating in real life. But I mean, I don't know. People are want what they want, and anyways, it's just not. It's just very cheesy, and some of the acting is not that good. Again, don't know if it's the
Yeah.
pandemic, but or they just said, yeah, it's the last season, so who really cares? Or should kind of make it. But
Mm.
that, and of course, my normal shows, Bachelorette, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and Scrubs. I think that's it. That's all I've been watching. But let's talk about some Hawkeye episode 4 here. I really enjoyed this episode. I watched it this morning, and I even tweeted out after I got done. I said I'm thinking Hawkeye is going to become my favorite Disney Plus MCU show because mainly because of Kate Haley Steinfeld. It's a
Yeah.
lot of fun. We are going to do spoilers. It's finally happened. Spoilers, by the way. If you have not watched this episode, please tune off now. But Yelena is finally in the show, and right when it happened, this had already gotten spoiled for me because I follow Zach Braff, who is dating Florence Pugh in real life, and he shared the fight scene because she shared the fight scene, which ended up banning her on Instagram for 24 hours because people reported it
Oh,
enough for spoilers. And I'm like, how do you do that? Because that's the actress. The episode's out. It's not like she did it 2 weeks in
right,
advance.
right. That's
But
oh
that's how I
god.
got spoiled that she was in the episode. Other people have been spoiled by like news sites saying if you have not watched Black Widow, do not watch this episode of Hawkeye. And I'm like, okay, guys, that's tongue in
Well,
cheek what it is.
yeah, but I mean at the same time, we knew she was going to be
Mm-hmm.
in the show, and after this, there's only 2 episodes left, so you figure she's got to be in here,
Right.
right? The big question still is, do we see Kingpin?
Oh, see, they keep talking about him every episode. I
Uh
feel like
huh.
they have talked about him, and I
Yep.
don't. I really want to, and I hope Vincent is. He on social media. He's very much. I'm not in anything, but he's been kind of quiet-ish about it. He's not as vocal as he has been, but I'm like, oh, I really want him back as Kingpin.
When it comes to Marvel projects, you cannot trust anything anybody
Yeah,
says.
it's unfortunately that is the way it has to be with the MCU. Kevin Feige runs
Yep.
a close ship, though.
Yeah.
Uh,
Even their leaks are approved.
uh huh. Well, they did a little press tour. Him and Sony. We've talked about it last week. I'm blanking on Pascal. That's her last name. Um, ah, whichever her name is.
Pedro
Yeah,
Pascal.
not Pedro Pascal. Amy Pascal. There it
Oh,
is.
Amy Pascal.
Uh, but they had
Pedro
a
came to mind
yeah.
first. I don't know.
We'll talk about him here in a minute. But they had like a bunch of pressers, and he was I forget what he was. There was a character he was talking about, and he was like, "Oh, I don't even know." Like he goes, "I don't pay attention to social media and leaks and stuff like that." I'm like, oh, "Okay, Kevin, I'm sure you don't, buddy." um,
Right?
this one had a lot of fun Easter eggs in it. I'm actually going to BuzzFeed by Nora Dominic for this one for everything I see. Um, let's see there's some cheesy stuff. So when Kate comes over to the apartment and decorates for Christmas, That was actually in the same Hawkeye run with Matt Faction and David Aja that did the
Mhm.
art and everything for this certain run. It was actually Tony Stark that comes and helps Clint decorate instead of Kate in the comic series. So I thought that was a fun little thing. Um, Clint seen drinking out of a mug that says Thanos was right, which is our second Thanos was right reference. I mean, of all the coffee mugs, I'm sure he could have picked something different, but
Yeah, the first reference was written on a urinal.
mm-hmm.
So
And a lot of people are making memes out of that, by the way, and like taking that out and putting other things on there. It's really funny.
that,
Uh, when Kate is drawing all the names and trying to piece everything together, that poster is actually for another Moira Brandon movie called A Chance of Love. Also, you'll notice one of the names on the poster is Sean Bronson, who is an art director on the Hawkeye show. That was a nice little fun little Easter egg for that one. The cool little scene where he says he can, I can knock somebody unconscious with a little ornament, like it looks like a little penny, 20 feet away. She says, "No, you can't," and then he throws it and turns the TV off, and then goes and teaches her how to do it. I thought that was such a great. Again, I love the
yeah.
relationship because it's not a girlfriend or sexualized relationship. It's a more so of a I don't want to say father
A
daughter.
mentor.
Yeah, a mentor to protege kind of thing, and I really
Yeah.
love that. And I think it's one of the things I really like about the show is that they're not doing it that way, but they're making it. It's just a mentor, like a new, of course, a young Avenger. And
I just want more episodes.
I know, and that's really going to bug me. And she's going to be like Yelena from Black Widow. I just want more Florence Pugh. I just want more of them. And
Yeah.
I mean, we're getting more Florence, and these obviously the next 2 episodes. I'm sure there's no way she's not in the next two. Uh,
Uh,
but that was something else. Like I'm curious, and I was texting my brother when I watched these, and I said, does Clint know about Yelena? I mean, I know she's not really her sister, but has she ever told him about her? I don't. The way that they both looked, I don't think so. And the way he said that it was a Black Widow assassin, I don't think that's his. I don't think he knows. Maybe she kept that part of her life extremely private from everybody, but it's hard to think that she kept anything from Clint.
well, she, I mean, she could have told him about the stuff when they were younger, but she didn't rediscover her until what, right after the events
It
of
was a
Civil
Civil
War.
War, so I mean, how many chances do they have to talk anyways?
Right.
So that's a good point. Um, the police officer and LARPer that retrieves Clint and Kate's trick arrows is named Wendy Conrad. In the comics, Wendy goes by Bombshell, which is why it's written on her bag in the episode. I thought that was nice tongue in cheek.
Yeah.
Uh,
I like Kate's suggestion. Well, what about boomerang arrows?
right.
It's like, why would I want boomerang arrows? It's just so they'll come back to you. And he's like, again, why would I want boomerang?
um, that same scene with the LARPers, there is a LARPer named Orville, who, and I'm assuming that's a nod to Orville Bach, who is Oddball in the comics. And they talk about getting new super suits, which
Or it's a nod to Seth MacFarlane's show, The Orville.
that's
Like,
true. It could be.
yeah.
Um, let's see. Number 14 on here says, okay, I'm going to try to remain calm. Clint tells Kate that the stolen watch is attached to someone's secret identity. This person says, and I'd like to float the theory that maybe it's Laura Barton's watch.
She's very concerned about getting it back.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's Clint's watch that he had. Because, I mean, they talk about the watch and the Ronin suit together. And I want to say maybe that's his watch, so she always knows where to find him. And maybe the ping, the transponder, whatever, is linked to their house or something. I don't know. Or I don't know if it's his wife. That seems like a very silly one to me, or very easy. Let me put it that way, very easy one. I would like to say it's someone we don't know about yet, maybe, but it's linked to a secret identity. So I don't know who else has a Rolex watch that secret is still secret at this point. But
Right.
let's see. During the fight on the roof with Clint and Kate, you can see like Yelena do Natasha's fighting pose, which she hilariously made fun of in Black Widow.
Mm.
The heartbreaking
Yes.
one to me and I know they did it on purpose. And I know probably a lot of people caught on to this Easter egg was when Kate was falling off the roof. They had the parallel with Black Widow falling off the cliff,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
that was heartbreaking. I mean, they even flashed back and forth on that scene, and
Hmm.
that hurt. But luckily, she did not die. I thought she was about to fall off that roof multiple times, but she did
Well,
not.
and then, and then he cuts the rope that she's hanging by, and she goes flying through the or falling through the Christmas lights.
Right. What a nice little cheeky thing to do there too. So
Yeah.
uh, let's see. Finally, when Kate decides to not shoot Elena, it mirrors when Clint and Natasha first met. Earlier in the episode, Clint told Kate he didn't shoot Nat because I just had a feeling that she wanted out. I don't know if that's because you can see Elena shake her head no, and I'm curious what your thought was on that. Why do you think she didn't shoot her? Because to me, mine was, oh, Kate's not a killer, and
Right.
that's why she didn't shoot her. So I, I don't know.
I think it's that, and maybe she did have a feeling.
Just kind of paralleled it
Um,
from the beginning of the episode.
yeah, she went with her gut,
Yeah,
just kind of deciding that, like, yeah, she's not just gonna up and kill somebody, but at
right.
the same time, also the fact that um, Echo and Yelena clearly were not expecting each other to be there.
Mm-mm.
So this is not someone who's fighting against against you with this other person. So it could very easily be a case of thinking, maybe this person's just maybe it could turn into a situation for them, and I think this is the way it probably goes, where the enemy of my enemy is my friend kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. Um, so she could have also held off for that reason.
It's gonna be a fun next two episodes. I'm in the same exact boat with you though. I don't want this show to end. It's so much
Mm.
fun, and the chemistry between Clint and Kate is like, it's awesome to watch. Like when they were eating dinner with her parents,
Yeah,
and very clearly everyone knows he's a superhero, and he's like, no, she's not partners. That was the whole theme of this episode was partners,
yeah.
and oh, the ugly Christmas sweaters, Lucky the dog. It was just so much fun. I just want more. I really do.
I
But
liked What If, but I would have given up 4 episodes of that to get 2 more episodes
I
of this show.
absolutely agree. I'm just gonna be honest. I would give the whole What If show just for the whole 10 episodes of this one. But
Yeah.
but next week it will be the penultimate episode for Hawkeye, and it's going to be fun. And I can't wait because we're getting Yelena. So first news story here we got for TV. Colin Farrell will reprise Penguin's role in HBO Max's The Batman spin-off show. We're going to Variety.com for this one. This is by Joe Otterson. Colin Farrell has officially signed on to star and executive produce a series spin-off of The Batman, in which he would again play the Penguin. Variety has learned exclusively from sources. Farrell first portrayed the villainous character in The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson, which is due to be released on March 4th, 2022. The series would then reportedly delve into the Penguin's rise to power in the Gotham criminal underworld. Variety first reported the series was in development back in September, though Farrell was not attached to it at the time. Lauren LaFranc, who is attached to write the script for the series. Along with Farrell, the Batman director Matt Reeves and the film's producer Dylan Clark would executive produce the Penguin series under their Sixth and Idaho and Dylan Clark production banners, respectively. Warner Brothers Television will produce.
Yeah.
Interesting. Now, this one
Very.
gives me a Gotham vibe,
Yeah.
which is what I'm hoping it goes for. We all know
Um,
this Batman movie is going to be just kick ass, but just a Penguin show, like a prologue to the Batman, is going to be different.
hmm
But
Yeah.
I hope it feels like
Um,
Gotham.
I saw this, and I don't know why, but it just made me think that. So I'm a little bit older. Um, People don't realize how lucky they are with their entertainment stuff these days. Because it used to be that once someone became a movie star, they didn't go back to TV.
Right.
So, I remember um, Kevin Bacon a few years ago had that show on Fox, The Following. Um, and stuff like Colin Farrell here coming back to, even though it's a streaming show, it's still a show,
Mm-hmm.
and that weekly commitment. Other people have done it in recent years as well. This is one of the cool things about the era that we're in general for entertainment is people are willing to drop in and do stuff like this. And it used to not be that way, you know. Um, had they wanted to continue Tim Burton's Batman on TV, it's unlikely Michael Keaton would have signed on for that
Right.
because he had a movie career.
A
Um,
very good one, might I
yeah,
add.
yeah, and it's just very cool to see that this stuff's continually happening for these universes.
Our next one here, Amazon Studios. Speaking of continuing TV shows, Amazon Studios and Sony Pictures Television Studios have announced a new show spinning off of The Boys called Diabolical. I'm going to Deadline.com by Brandon Cho for this one. The Boys is receiving a wicked treatment. At the Brazil Comic Con, Prime Video announced The Boys Diabolical, a new 8-episode animated anthology series set in the universe of The Boys. The new series, set to premiere in 2022, will reveal untold stories in the world of The Boys. The stories in it come from certain Hollywood big names, including Aquafina, Garth Ennis, Elliot Glazer, Ilana Glazer, Evan Goldberg, and Seth Rogen. Simon Rakiopa, I butchered her last name, or his name, Justin Roiland, Ben Bayouth, Andy Sandberg, and Aisha Tyler. Quote, we're almost finished with 8 episodes of our animated series Diabolical. We gathered together some incredible creators and gave them one rule. Just kidding. There's absolutely no rules. They blew the doors off of it, the Boys' executive producer and showrunner Eric Kripke said. Uh, I'm excited about this. Those are a lot
Hmm.
of fun names. Aquafina and Andy Sandberg, to name two of them, two that I've watched a lot of their work on,
Right.
and it's going to be fun. And the fact that Eric Kripke said there are no rules, and I'm pretty sure it's going to have the same feel of Invincible because again, Amazon Prime and their studios are the ones doing it.
Yeah. Yeah. It should be a fun little show. The Boys is still one I have to watch.
I can't wait.
Uh,
I seriously can't wait for you to delve into that one.
but I've got all that time off coming up, so it'll happen then.
I expect a episode by episode review in text form.
Oh, okay. In text form.
Yeah,
Okay.
just to keep me going through the day.
Okay.
The next two news stories I don't really have articles for. Nick Offerman is playing Bill in HBO's The Last of Us. I could not think this was a more perfect role if I could have named one. And I am so excited for the show, period. But I love Nick Offerman and him playing Bill, the survivalist, the paranoid survivalist, I guess, is what you would go with him.
Hmm.
And he's going to be a lot of fun. And then, last news story I have for TV is Superman the Lois Season 2 trailer has premiered, and the show will be coming out on January 11th. The first trailer looks really good. We're going to see a lot more of Jonathan and why can't I think of the other brother's name that's got the powers?
Jordan.
Jordan. And Jordan's powers look like he is getting stronger with them, still not able to control them as well. And Superman needs help, and it's gonna like the trailer looks like Superman is in danger, and Jordan has to help him and find him. And I don't know, it's gonna be good. It has the same look that season 1 did, that
Yeah.
dark-ish tone to it. I think is the word I'm looking for here. But I mean, I'm excited. It's Superman and Lois. Hopefully, they don't do what the first season did and just had those episodes which didn't feel right.
Right. It didn't feel like it moved the story at all. It was just
Mm-hmm.
like filler. I'm hoping that we see Jonathan get something
Yeah,
power wise this year.
I don't think they'll make him just a Lois character because that's just not fun, if you ask me.
No.
Releases this week for TV. Wednesday, December 15th, Young Rock's holiday special on NBC, which I imagine is I haven't done really too much research into it. I imagine it's the TV show, but it's a holiday special for it.
Mm.
And then, more importantly, Chris, Friday, December 17th, The Witcher Season 2 drops on Netflix. And oh, baby, that might be what I watch this week is the first season of The Witcher while I'm working.
That's going to be a heck of a 24-hour period for you. So
Yeah.
Thursday night we're seeing Spider-Man.
Yeah.
and then Friday night you'll watch The Witcher,
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm just
or
gonna
Friday during the day,
yeah.
probably.
Oh no, that's it's a show that Jamie actually enjoys watching as well. So our weekend might be filled with good old Henry Cavill action, if
There
you
you go.
will.
Yeah. All right, on to film. Um, I've already sort of spoiled this. I haven't watched anything else. Tyler, have you
uh,
watched anything else?
I watched the Matrix Revolutions. Is that the second one? Yeah. So the podcast is kind of funny. They're doing a Matrix watch along coming up until December 22nd for the new movie. So I watched the first one last week, which I always keep forgetting to mention these. I keep forgetting to put them in Letterboxd as well. And I watched Matrix Revolutions, and I've watched Spider-Man: Far From Home. And that's actually the second time I've seen Spider-Man: Far From Home, and which is a movie you'd think I'd watch more than once, but that's the
Hmm.
second time I'm watching it. And from what I have been told and read, Spider-Man: No Way Home takes off the exact same time that the Far From Home ends. So you can see it in trailers.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are all the
Yeah.
things I watched.
Okay. So let's jump into this week's review. And first off, for those that listened to last week's show, uh, I did not get to watch Free Guy because of everything that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the one thing I could not get to. Um, but what I was able to watch, in keeping with our holiday theme, was Home Sweet Home Alone. This is sort of a. So I watched the first two Home Alones, uh, and I didn't watch. I think there have been two or three others.
Oh, there's been.
Um,
I remember there's a Home Alone 5, so there's more than uh,
so there's
two
three
or three.
others that use that name, and then now there's this. This is in the same
Yes,
universe.
it does.
I don't know if the others are. In fact, um, Buzz, who is of course Kevin's older brother in the original, is a police officer in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So
Hilarious.
it is connected to the universe
Well, Kevin's even in
um,
this one by name.
by name. Yeah, apparently he started McAllister Home Security
It's
Systems.
it's so
That's
perfect. Like just the small little nods to the original Home
right.
Alone and Home Alone 2 cracked me up. Like I was because they
Hmm.
showed the sign first and didn't like put anything with us. Oh, it's a little cheeky little nod to that. And then Buzz says something in the movie. I don't want to spoil it because a nice little nod back to it's a nice little Easter egg uh, to the original Home Alones. And I was like, oh my god, that's so great that he does that every year.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's so funny. It's so great.
Um, so the premise of this one is that a family has just relocated from London, and the little boy um, is the little boy that gets left alone this time. And they have a lot of family over, which he's very uh, annoyed by.
Mm-hmm.
And when you finally get back to the house and you see him and the mom and all these other family members, you can understand why. Uh, I mean, these people would make you hire a hitman. Uh, they just, it's just going crazy, the entire house. And on top of it, the family they've been split up. They were supposed to all be on the same flight over to Tokyo where they're going to spend Christmas, and the airline had to bump some of them, so now some of them are on a different flight. And apparently, the mom and the son, Max, is his name, are on separate flights, and it's a whole mess. So she's on the phone trying to figure that out. At the same time, there's another family, presumably a few blocks over, that they're having to sell their home because the
Mm-hmm.
dad lost his job and they haven't told the kids yet. And through some interactions, I believe it was with Max's mom actually, because they stop into the open house because he needs to go to the bathroom,
It's so funny.
as you do. And anyway, for the other. I'm trying to remember the family name,
Let's see,
but
the
for the other
Mercer
family,
Mackenzies.
Mackenzies. The father for the Mackenzies actually finds out that this weird-looking, creepy little doll that I think it was his mom had
Mm,
um, is apparently worth over $200,000.
right. Goes for like $237,000 on eBay.
Yeah, and so there's this. The doll ends up missing, and they presume that Max took it because he was being a little
Pain.
difficult. Um, so now they're trying to get into the house to get the doll back, and that's how they set up all of this. Um, I'm gonna say that I enjoyed a lot of the traps.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I thought they made it different enough from Home Alone itself. It wasn't just a basically a shot for shot reboot.
Right.
Um, the one thing that got me, and I was concerned that they weren't going to address it, is that I kept sitting there thinking, if this kid took this doll, he kind of has it coming.
Right.
Like, these people are going into the house just trying to get their property back, and he's doing all this stuff to them, which is not in the same spirit as the first film.
Mm-hmm.
First film, Marv and Harry were actually bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
They were robbing people and then destroying their homes by flooding the homes. Um, this was just a couple trying to hang on to the house that they love and get this item back that would presumably help them do that. And it's the holidays. So I was a little worried with the way that it was going. Um, they kind of salvaged that. So I came in on this one at 3 stars. I thought it was okay.
That's
Um,
that's where I put mine at. Was it 3 stars? Like right around
I'd
the.
watch it again.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's again, it's one of those when I do these when we do these Christmas movies, I always think of rewatchability or are these going to be a classic? Have to watch every holiday season, like we
I
did with
don't
the
think
Christmas.
it's
Go
I
ahead.
don't think it's Iron Man 3 classic for Christmas
Thank you,
time, but
thank you,
you
Chris.
know.
Speaking voice of reason. No, I don't think it's like a Christmas Chronicles or the Santa Claus or anything that I'm going to revisit every year.
Right.
But I enjoyed it, and it was a nice. I don't not really a twist, but it was a nice way to do this with having two different families, and
Right.
you actually like you justified everybody's actions. But I'm not spoiling anything by saying this, but all of this could have been prevented by one conversation
Yeah.
and not
Yeah.
a lot of miscommunication in this
A
movie.
lot.
But the ending I didn't really like because it was a little far out for me. The ending scene, if you know what I'm talking about, like I'm just like
Yeah.
these people wouldn't do this. But the I was hoping for a little bit more traps into it, but it's like you said, how do you do these traps without doing what the original did, or I mean, they had 5 movies that I know of, and all at a house. So I mean, how do you do that without doing the same kind of thing? I thought these traps were fun though. Some of these were downright murderous, but I
There
mean,
were a
so were
couple
some of the first ones.
there were a couple that were a little bit unbelievable. Like he saws in half one of the spindles
Right,
on the railing of the staircase. And it's like how do you know he's going to grab that one?
right. Just got lucky. That's all that one was.
You know. Um but yeah, it's a fun watch.
There's a lot of fun
I,
guest appearances in this one too.
yeah, yeah, there are. I don't think that there's as much for those that have seen the original Home Alone. You're not going to get the same feel
Right.
that that one get. That one had the subplot with the older man that there were all these rumors about in the neighborhood that he'd murdered his family and all
Mm-hmm.
this, and how Kevin gets close to him and he ends up helping him out. Um, but he outside of that, he really was kind of by himself. like I said, against some really, really bad, inept at times, but bad people. Um, that same threat wasn't there on this.
Right.
Um, so it is there is a very interesting miscommunication that really drives this forward, though, when it comes to the price of the doll, and they keep referring to the doll as the
The
little
boy,
boy,
as the little ugly boy.
as the ugly little boy, and he's like thinks they're talking about him.
Which
Um,
is what a 10-year-old would do, though. It's like
right,
he's not going to think about the doll.
right, and
So good.
there's there's one point where he says, "I'm not ugly."
Yeah.
Um, I do like the gag that we get when after they've scaled the walls of the house, and they they open the door, the back door to the house off the patio. Um, that was a nice little moment.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it's got plenty of humor. It's got fun traps.
Would you recommend it?
Like I said, I think it's one people should watch. Yeah.
If you got Disney
Again, I'll
Plus and just
probably
a boring night and want to watch a little
yeah,
Christmas-oriented movie.
I'd even throw it on Christmas Eve or Christmas Day if you haven't seen it yet,
Yeah.
you know. Um, I don't think it's an every year Christmas movie. I think it's something maybe if I were doing a Home Alone
Mm-hmm.
like binge watch, I would watch the first two Home Alones and then I would go to this one.
Yeah.
I would throw all the others out.
Yeah. It's they did a because I remember back when I was watching Home Alone 1 and 2. I don't I don't think I believed that they would leave their kid behind. The way that they set it up in this movie is very believable to an extent. Like there was like I'm like, how would you? I could see the miscommunication, but you would think the mom would have that sorted out better than she did. Like she would know where her son is. But I could
Well,
see from the other flight how they thought that way.
yeah,
So
because he was going to be on the other plane in the mom's eyes, and yet
mm-hmm.
everyone else thought he had gone with her.
Right,
And so there was this, yeah, in the first one, of course, there's a neighborhood kid that comes over and is talking to him while they're leaving, and the oldest sister counts him as Kevin,
mm-hmm.
and that's how it happens. But no one ever, it's like you're still on the way to the airport.
Right.
When
It's
you get there, you would think you would realize Kevin's not
yeah.
here.
My son
But
didn't
yeah,
get his ticket.
yeah, yeah. But definitely worth a watch. And I think you already said, right, you gave it 3 stars
Mm-hmm.
as well.
I think it's about 3 stars. About C plus, B minus E area.
Yeah. Next week, of course, Spider-Man No Way Home. So that'll be fun.
I
Tickets have already been bought.
can't wait. No excuses now.
I've even got some candy to sneak into the theater.
I'm going
Um,
to do my best to not fall asleep. I don't think I will be, because I mean I have to go to work the next morning, and I plan to sleep in, so that'll be fun.
yeah, yeah. Eternals was rough for me because we watched it at like 11:30 in the
Yeah,
afternoon.
we had an early morning one.
All right. Next up here for news in film comes from Deadline.com, and three people on this byline: Anthony D'Alessandro, Nelly Andreeva, and Justin Kroll. Says Destin Daniel Critton Inc.'s overall deal with Marvel Studios and Hulu's Onyx Collective set for Disney Plus MCU series and Shang-Chi sequel. Um, so obviously, he was the filmmaker behind Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And it looks like we are officially getting a sequel, which I think they had. How long has it been since they initially revealed that?
I'm not. I don't think it's been too terribly long. Maybe a month,
Yeah,
but
something like that.
it's exciting that the original one is coming back because I mean the first one did fine. Like I mean I
Yeah,
really enjoyed it. We've talked about it on the show, but I'm glad.
yeah. So it says under the big new overall deal, Critton will develop TV projects for both Marvel Studios and Disney Plus and Onyx Collective across all platforms, including Hulu. Um, he's going to produce through a new production company he's launching with partner Asher Goldstein, named Family Owned, and together they'll focus on building a slate of projects in film and TV that highlight the experiences of communities that have traditionally been overlooked by pop culture.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, so the fact that he's going to touch on all of those platforms,
Mm-hmm.
this is going to be interesting.
All that Disney-owned money,
Um,
baby.
yeah, cash in those checks. And it does mention that worldwide, Shang-Chi has grossed close to $432 million.
Good. Good.
So, but yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what they come up with. I'm especially curious as to what they're going to do with the sequel.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Have to be fighting his sister.
yeah, I would think, and then how will that relationship develop between Shang-Chi and what was I'm forgetting her name, Aquafina's character name. Is it
Oh,
Katie?
Katie. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, how will their relationship develop?
Because they're with the Avengers now, technically. So
Uh-huh.
I mean, you'd have to think that's the next time we see them as in an Avengers film. We have to believe that Shang-Chi 2 won't come out until after whatever the next Avengers film is. So,
Right. Could we see them pop up even for a scene in No Way Home?
don't you tease me with a good time, Chris.
All right, last bit of film news. Extraction 2 is now officially filming. Of course, we talked about Extraction 1 a few episodes back. It was very enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So we wondered at the time, because of the way they ended the film, um, if in fact there would be a sequel. And I think it was 2 weeks later they
They
announced
announced the second one.
they're listening, Tyler.
Right. I'm telling you they are. I mean, someone has to be because we had that whole debate. Was that Tyler standing by the pool of the kid?
Right.
And obviously it is. And so the image, I think it was the director shared out, was of Chris Hemsworth standing on the side of a train in a snowy little Iceland region. And Chris Hemsworth reshared it and also said, "You'll finally find out how he survived." And I'm like, "Thank you," because he got shot through the jugular. I mean, that's maybe 2 minutes and you're dead. And then
Yeah.
dude falls into the water. I mean, this is major spoilers for Extraction, by the way. Falls into the water and, I mean, is presumed dead. Don't know how, anyways, but yeah, that's...
That water was one big Lazarus pit.
I see. I
Yeah.
think this was also like a prequel to Thor 2. So before he's gotten the
Yeah.
hammer in Thor, he's still trying to be worthy. Uh,
All right, releases this week. December 17th in U.S. cinemas. Spider-Man No Way Home. It's this little film. Not many people are talking about it,
Chris, I
but
can't wait.
it might be. It might be good.
We're going to have 7 people watching it with us, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I can't wait. We've got good seats. I am muting every form of Spider-Man, every form of every actor I could think of on Twitter, so nothing gets spoiled, and it's going to be fun. I can't wait for that movie. It's like almost end-game level hype for me. Almost, not there yet, but almost.
What would you do if somebody spliced in all the spoilers during the previews for the...
Yeah, they're gonna have to be fired. That's fired. Disney's gonna have to let them not watch anything ever again. So
Could you imagine sitting there in the movie and you're watching previews and all of a sudden all these spoilers for the movie you're there to watch
Right.
come up?
Oh, you gotta be a special kind of tool for that. Chris, you been playing any video games this week?
Very, very little gaming, and what little I did were my normal ones. So,
Well, Chris, let me tell you about 2 little small games, one of which I talk about often, and that is Destiny 2. Tuesday this week is what they released the content from Bungie's 30th anniversary. They released a whole bunch of new content in Destiny. And Chris, it is so much fun. I haven't played. I don't think I played any in November. No, that's not true. I played a little bit of the Halloween event right before it ended. But other than that, I have not played any Destiny in November. And now here we are in December, and I am hooked. There's this game and the next game I'm talking about. I have not put down all week long, and it's just been so much fun. It's been a breath of fresh air. It's a lot of fun. They even added in Halo weapons because Bungie was the one that made Halo 1, 2, and 3. So that's ingrained in their history. And so they brought some weapons into Destiny and some armor looks and things. Obviously not the same names, but it's just so cool to see that they did that. And it's just a lot of fun, and I can't stop playing Destiny again. And it's probably going to last all the way up until February, in theory. So, and then the next one is a little game that we have been waiting to play and we have talked about for years, and that is Halo Infinite. Now, I've been playing the multiplayer semi-often. Halo, to me, is a lot more fun to play when you got people to play with. But the campaign dropped this Wednesday, and it is beautiful. And I can officially say it, I am 100% happy they took a year off. Now, we don't have everything in this game yet. Like, there's no co-op, there's no forge mode, but they said it's coming. And there's also the beginning scene you can't replay, or any of the main story campaign missions you cannot replay yet. They said they're working on it, but for us, that we want to get this game polished, ready to go, so you guys can play it and it's playable. And it is so much fun. Like the grapple shot, the movement, the open world of it all is a lot of fun. And this is a game of the year contender for me. So when we do our show at the end of this month, I mean, this one is going to be high up there for me. Hopefully I can beat the campaign by then. I'm also one of those completionists, so I have to do everything in the game. And that's distracting me from the main missions. Each time I open up a new area, I am beating everything else before I continue the story. And, I mean, this is, if you've got Game Pass, everybody needs to play this game. You do not need to play the other games, 1 through 5, to understand what's going on in this one. It obviously helps with the lore, but they set it up where it's not, you can't learn it in the first mission before going into open world and everything. It's a lot of fun, and the Banished is a fun enemy to play against. So,
yeah, I'll probably play the campaign. I don't know that I'll jump into
Chris, it's so good.
Multiplayer.
It's addicting. Be careful. But ladies and gentlemen, I said at the beginning of the show, I watched the Video Game Awards, and it is time for Nerdwide's review of the Game Awards 2021. First off, we're going to go through the majority of the 30 awards up for grabs. We'll go through the big ones, and I'm going to IGN.com. This is by Adam Bankhurst for this one, and they start at the top and go down to the bottom. So Game of the Year, It Takes Two. Nobody saw that coming, and it was beautiful, and I'm really glad this game won that. Best Game Direction, Deathloop. Best Narrative, Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. The game Chris and I said we weren't going to buy and play has got me really wanting to play. I've heard nothing but great things about it, and now I got Best Narrative, so that's awesome. Best Art Direction went to Deathloop. Best Score and Music went to Nier Replicant version 1.22474487139. Best Audio Design.
And I thought that would go to Cyberpunk.
Well, a lot of people were curious of why Cyberpunk was on this list, but where it released last year, I mean, that makes sense. Best Audio Design, of course, went to Forza Horizon 5. Best Performance went to Maggie Robertson in Resident Evil Village, the big, tall vampire lady.
Well deserved.
Yes, and she was shaking the whole time and so excitedly happy. Games for Impact went to Life is Strange True Colors. Again, well deserved is that one as well. Best Ongoing Game went to Final Fantasy 14 Online. Best Indie Game went to Kenna, Bridge of Spirits, which I need to play that game. Best Debut Indie Game went to Kenna, Bridge of Spirits. Best Mobile Game went to Genshin Impact. Best Community Support, which is the only one Destiny was up for, went to Final Fantasy 14 Online. Best VR AR Game went to Resident Evil 4. Innovation and Accessibility went to Forza Horizon 5. And one of the main ladies that I forget what she was, like the head of accessibility for Forza, wasn't there, but she was live streaming it on Twitch. And watching her reaction when they said they won was absolutely beautiful. I mean, you can just Google Forza Horizon 5 accessibility lead video, and you can find it. It's absolutely beautiful. Uh, Best action game went to Returnal. Best action slash adventure game went to Metroid Dread. Best RPG went to Tales of Arise. Best fighting game went to Guilty Gear Strive. Best family game went to It Takes Two, which is very odd because the premise of that game, if you don't know, is a little girl who is making make believe with two dolls that she made of her mom and dad, who the mom and dad are going through a divorce. And how that gets best family game, I really don't know. So, because it's not really a family game. Anyways, best sports and racing game went to Forza Horizon 5. Best sim and strategy game went to Age of Empires 4. Best multiplayer game went to It Takes Two. I mean, It Takes Two swept, by the way. And then that's all. The rest is like esports stuff. And then the most anticipated game is Elden Ring. Now, a lot of people. So I watch for the mix of awards and announcements that they make because this is a big announcement-heavy show. And so this next one here is everything announced at the Game Awards 2021. And Chris, there is one game I know you're going to be excited about if you haven't heard about it already. So we're going through the full list. These are in no specific order of how they were announced. Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss reveal The Matrix Awakens, an Unreal Engine 5 experience. Now, this is for free, and everybody that has next-gen consoles and hardware can play this. And if you have not, I need everybody to download this. Chris, download this on your PlayStation 5. And
will do.
Because this is the new engine, Unreal Engine 5 is. And I have watched people play it. I haven't played it personally myself yet. I mean this week. But Chris, you cannot tell the difference between this game and real life, and it scares the hell out of me. And the fact that they're doing it first with the Matrix is hilarious and so scary, and I don't like it. But I have, like, there are screenshots that I've seen, and people are like, is this from the movie or is this the game? And like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. And it's like, nope, this is from the game. I'm like, oh, of course it is. So everyone, please, please, please download that. It's maybe 30 minutes long, but it is absolutely beautiful. Next one, Star Wars Eclipse is a new action-adventure game from Quantic Dream that is set in the High Republic. Got a nice little cinematic trailer for it. Alan Wake 2, officially announced, will be Remedy's first survival horror game. Game is currently slated to be released in 2023. And then here was my freak out moment that I had no idea about. Wonder Woman game announced for Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor developers Monolith Productions, with Warner Brother Games announcing this. A new game from Middle-earth Shadow of Mordor or Shadow of War's Monolith Productions starring the iconic DC hero. No release date was given. We did get a cinematic reveal trailer of this take on Wonder Woman. Apparently, from a press release, it's supposed to be post-World War II, is what it is. So, peak Wonder Woman.
2 questions.
I can't wait. Oh, I can't wait.
2 questions.
Okay.
2 questions. So first off, can we please get Gal Gadot voicing the character?
Oh, that'd be great. I forget who. There's someone already voicing. I forget who she is. She's been in several things.
The other thing is, they've struggled on DC property games with having combat systems as good as what Batman does with the Arkham games.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm curious if they're going to be able to equal that with this.
I think they could. And what's crazy is about this one is this has the Nemesis system in it, which is what that's why they kept talking about the Shadow of War, Shadow of Mordor game. It's because that's what it had in it. It's the only one that's done it. And I can't wait. I mean, a Wonder Woman game is going to be so much fun if they do it right. I mean, right there with you, Chris. We have to stay open-minded on this one because it could flop like every other DCEU movie. I said it. I went there. Next one, new Elden Ring trailer premiered. The new cinematic story trailer. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League showed off its first real gameplay finally, and that game looks fun, and I will be playing it, yes. We saw a first look at the Halo TV series, although very short. It was maybe like a minute long, did not show anything, didn't tell us anything. So, I mean, you did see the Master Chief armor, so I don't know. Hellblade 2 Senua Saga. They gave us a 9-minute gameplay trailer again. I could not tell what was gameplay and what was cinematic. It was that good. Like there were certain parts that like, okay, that's gameplay, but the way that it wove into each other, this next gen is just gonna be too damn good. I can't like these games are crazy, and what they're doing is gonna be so much fun. Uh, Arc Raiders X Dice Devs new games a co-op PvE sci-fi shooter. Forspoken release date, which is by Gary. One of the writers is Gary Whitta from Rogue One, the Star Wars story. Forspoken, the upcoming game from Square Enix, featuring an ambitious mix of magic and parkour, will be released on May 24th, 2022, on PS5 and PC. Again, cannot wait for that game. And the gameplay looked fun and right up my alley. Next one, which is very near and dear to my heart, Horizon Forbidden West gameplay trailer revealed, and it looks so good. We got new armor, we got new monsters, new robots to fight. Then we saw Sonic Frontiers, an open zone Sonic adventure, officially announced. It's been rumored for a while. We also saw Sonic the Hedgehog 2. The movie trailer finally reveals Knuckles and Tails. And Chris, I'm all in. That is going to be a movie review. I am already calling it right now. Just go ahead and let you know there.
You got it.
Then Cuphead, the Delicious Last Course DLC, release date announced for June 30th, 2022. Star Trek Resurgence is a post-TNG game made by Telltale veterans, so that's going to be a lot of fun. It takes place shortly after the Next Generation. That's why I guess that's what TNG means. The Expanse, a Telltale series, is a prequel story to the TV series off of Amazon Prime. Again, I need to watch that show. A Plague Tale...
Well,
Go ahead.
I'm very curious about it because I played the Batman Telltale games
They're so good.
and really enjoyed them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in on anything that they do.
Right.
You know, let's see, but that's one I'll be looking forward to.
Mm-hmm. They announced this one in the pre-show, so like it didn't really get a real announcement. It was really weird how they did it, but yeah, I'm all in. A Plague Tale Requiem gets a brand new trailer. It's supposed to be released in 2022. Let's see, and I think that Silent Hill creator announces a new game called Slitterhead. It's founded by Silent Hill creator Toshiro Toyama. Among Us is going into VR. New Saints Row gameplay trailer shows off crazy new stunts and more. Ex-BioWare devs reveal fantasy Victorian survival game Nightingale. Will not be playing that one. Well, no, that was the one that's I'm up in the air. Slitterhead, obviously not.
Oh, come on.
Tiny Tina's Wonderland trailer shows off chaotic fantasy action ahead of its March 26, 2022 release date. Crossfire X is officially coming to Xbox on February the 10th. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak expansion, new hub, monster, and NPC revealed. Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate is officially coming to PC in May 2020. No release date. December 16th, 2021. So here in a couple of days. Dying Light 2 cinematic trailer shows off a terrifying world infested with zombies. Destiny 2, we got a new Witch Queen trailer for Destiny 2. Cannot wait. The Zelda Light Tunic finally has a release date on March 26, 2022. Persona 4 Arena Ultimax announced for PS4, Switch, and PC. And I think that's all I am going to cover for a lot of these other ones, like real indie ones for games that you have to be paying attention to. Oh, here's one. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre online multiplayer horror game announced. Fans of Leatherface are in for a treat as Gun Interactive and Sumo Nottingham have announced the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, an online horror game. Again, I'm passing on that one.
Oh, no. I think that's one we should play, Tyler.
It's just live stream it during a Halloween.
Would you like to play a game?
And that is everything, all your big major announcements from the Game Awards. Overall, it was a 3-hour show, 3.5 hours if you count the pre-show. It was long, but you have to for those ad spaces and everything because they had Giancarlo Esposito, Ming-Na Wen, Simu Liu, like a lot of people, announced awards and things like that. But it was a little long. The first hour and a half were the best hour and a half of gaming and things like that in awards. But they also noted, like I've seen in chats that I was watching, we had 90 minutes of show and 2 awards given out and presented on stage. And I'm like, oh, that's not good. So, but it's hard to have that balance because half of the industry comes for the awards, but then half of the people tune in just for the announcements. So, it's hard,
Yeah,
And
but you got to find a better balance than
yeah,
that.
then
An
then
hour and a half with
it
2 awards.
yeah, it was bad and it was rough. But the hour and a half, we had a lot of good announcements, and then towards the later half of the show, we didn't really have that many big ones. So you have to find a balance there. Overall, this year, 2021 Game Awards, I give it a C plus. Not to be,
Ooh.
yeah, it wasn't the best. Of course, it was our first in person event in 2 years. Of course, due to the pandemic, and they still were at half capacity in the theater for the pandemic. But it was good to see faces in the crowd. But notable new releases this week: Among Us for PlayStation 5, the Xbox Series, and yeah, the PlayStation Xbox comes December 14th. It's a fun game, and I think I'm going to download on Xbox if it comes with Game Pass, which I believe it does. I've played it on PC, and it's a lot of fun, ladies and gentlemen. But guys, thank you all for listening. We hope you enjoyed this show this week. It's been a lot of fun. Hope you enjoyed a talking fireplace. That's something you don't get anywhere else. Don't forget to subscribe and share on all your favorite social media platforms. Don't forget to rate and review us on whatever podcasting service you use. On social media, you can follow the Nerdwide account at nerd_wide. You can follow me at Ty_Haynes. And you can follow Chris at MavTN7. If you go see Spider-Man this week, let us know how excited you are down in the comments below, because we absolutely can't wait. And we'll be watching it together, so make sure you are waiting and watching next week's episode, because we're going to have Hawkeye Episode 5, the penultimate episode, and our Spider-Man No Way Home review. And I imagine it's absolutely going to blow our socks off, and I can't wait. But guys, this has been this week's episode of the Nerdwide Podcast, and we cannot wait to come with you next week with all those fun reviews, and we will see you then.
Later, guys.